Think of who you were 10 years ago. That comes easily. You can see the clothes. You can still hear the song you played until the people around you begged you to stop. And you can feel exactly how certain you were about a person or a job or a plan that was going to work out. Now turn around and face the other way. Picture who you will be 10 years from now. Notice what happens. The picture goes soft at the edges. You can manage a rough sketch, but it is mostly this person again, in slightly better shoes, holding slightly more money, with all the same opinions, professionally upholstered. Some part of you has quietly decided that the changing is over, and that the person who shows up in 10 years will be more or less the one sitting here tonight. That decision is wrong at every age, and it has a name. In 2013, 3 researchers put the question to more than 19,000 people, aged 18 to 68. They asked one group how much they had changed in the past 10 years. They asked another group how much they expected to change in the next 10. They asked about personality and about values. And then they asked about plain taste, the favorite food, the favorite hobby, the closest friend. Almost everyone said the same 2 things. I have changed a great deal. And I am now, at last, finished. The 18-year-old said it, the 40-year-old said it, and the 68-year-old said it. Every group could see the road behind them in detail, and every group was confident the road ahead ran straight. They called it the end of history illusion. You keep deciding that history is the thing that already happened to you. So why would the same mistake turn up at every age? Because the 2 questions are not the same job. Remembering is reading because the past is written down already, and you only have to look it up. Predicting is writing because you have to build a whole person who does not exist yet, and you have to do it out of nothing. One of those is easy. One of those is work, and when the work is hard, the mind does something unhelpful with the empty space. It treats the blank as an answer. It does not report that the picture is missing. It reports with enormous confidence that nothing much is coming. You have felt this from the other side? Think of whatever changed you most in the last 10 years and ask whether you saw it coming. Almost nobody does. It arrived, and then it was obvious, and the obviousness arranged itself backwards until it seemed to have been there all along. There's a second failure sitting underneath the first one, and it belongs to the same 2 researchers. Suppose someone handed you the future. You get to see the events, all of them, in order. The job you lose, the person who leaves, the thing you have been dreading, arriving exactly as dreaded. You would still get it wrong, not the events, the weather. You would badly overestimate how long each one was going to hurt. Gilbert and Wilson called this the durability bias, and they found it everywhere they looked. In people imagining a breakup, a rejected job application, an election going the wrong way, a denial of tenure. In every case, the forecast was roughly right about the direction and badly wrong about the duration. People expected to be leveled, and they were leveled briefly, and then they were mostly fine. The reason is almost embarrassing. You have a psychological immune system, and when something bad happens, it goes to work immediately without asking you first. You find the reason it was probably for the best, and you notice all the ways that person was wrong for you anyway. You quietly rewrite the job you did not get into a job you never wanted. It is not lying exactly. It is maintenance. And like your other immune system, you cannot feel it running. So when you picture next year, you picture the wound without the healing. You see yourself standing out in the rain, and you forget that you own a coat, and that you will put it on, and that you will barely remember being wet. Which is the first mistake again, pointed somewhere new. You are not only bad at picturing who you will be, you're bad at picturing how that person will feel, and you get it wrong in one direction. You underestimate them. The future you is tougher than you think, and you will not give them the credit in advance. Now, the part that most retellings leave out, the study has problems, and they are worth saying out loud. It did not follow the same people for 10 years. It asked different people of different ages on a single afternoon and lined the answers up. It leaned on memory, and memory flatters, because you are the one grading your own past. And there is a sharper objection. Suppose you know that you will change, but you have no idea which way. What is your best guess for the person you will be? It is the person you are now. Not because you lack imagination, but because that is the smart bet. So part of this famous effect may be arithmetic rather than blindness. What survives is smaller and still worth having. Change is far easier to see behind you than in front of you. The researchers went further and put a price on that gap. They asked people what they would pay to see their favorite band play in 10 years, and the answer came back at $129. Then they asked what those same people would pay to see the band they loved 10 years ago play tonight. $80. Same money, same seats, same band. The only thing that changed was which way you were facing in time. You will happily buy a ticket for a stranger, as long as the stranger is you. That is the quiet cost of it. You sign the lease, take the job, and book the 10-year plan, and you price every one of them for the person standing here tonight. So here's the part you can use. You are not the final draft. The taste you would defend tonight, the plan you are certain of, the person you cannot imagine living without, some of that is scaffolding, and scaffolding comes down. Treat who you are now as a reasonable working estimate rather than a verdict. Make the promises you can actually keep, and hold the rest a little more loosely. You are not finished. You are the most recent version, and the next one is already on the way.